Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Investment Talks with Harmony. Today on the show, we'll be joining Mr. Doug Poirier, who is a general contractor and the founder of Total Equity Construction. Doug's journey in construction started when he bought a property majorly for the land, but what followed was a series of structural repairs. He did work right from pouring the foundation to opening walls, changing the plumbing, roof. Basically, he built the home right from the ground up. For the next project, he took things really to the next level. He built a massive custom built four-plex in Cornwall, which is the area where he grew up in. He did creative financing strategies like vendor takebacks, and now he's a go to name in the Ottawa region for anything related to construction or renovations. Whether it's kitchens, basements, or custom built homes, he has done it all. In this episode, we will dive into how Doug's construction experience gave him an edge towards his real estate investing journey. We'll talk about how he selects projects, manages trades, and maintains quality while scaling a business that thrives on personal touch. I know you are very excited for the episode. Without waiting any further, let's dive right in. Today, I have my dear friend Doug on the podcast Investment Talks, and he's the founder of Tech Total Equity Construction. It's based in Ottawa, and he's a very knowledgeable guy in construction field. And today we're gonna go learn more about his journey, his experience, and how he has become so successful in this construction industry. So, welcome to the show, Doug. How are you doing today?
Well, thanks for having me, Harshit. I'm really good, man. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here too. Yeah, we had some technical issues, but we thrived it. And as always, we burst through our challenges and we made it.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, so Doug, can you tell us a bit overview about who you are and what you do currently?
Yeah, so I'm a general contractor serving the Ottawa area. So we handle a wide variety of projects. We mostly focus on residential construction, and we do a little bit of commercial, but our primary focus is residential. So we'll do large renovations, new builds, additions, SDU conversions, and have a big focus on investor projects. Since I'm a real estate investor myself, I'm really passionate about that sector.
Amazing, amazing. So, Doug, uh, can you tell us a bit difference? What is the difference between a general contractor and like a handyman or a contractor that is focused on a specific skill?
Yeah, so a handyman, I would say, is that's what he is. He's handy. He can do general small repairs. A general contractor is way more encompassing. So, I would like to think I have way more feathers in my cap than a handyman. So, a handyman can do things, little upgrades to your house, little repairs. But a general contractor can actually build you the house from the foundation to the finish. So that's really more my lane is the
Right.
full scope of the project.
Right. So you're like a one-stop shop for all the solutions that
Mhm.
you're looking for. Okay.
Mm.
Great to know. And talking about investments a bit, like what kind of investments do you do personally? What strategies or asset classes do you invest in?
Yeah, so personally, I'm big on just physical assets. So I like hard, tangible assets, which is just to me real estate. So I'd like to get into land development, but right now my portfolio is just a real estate property. a multifamily property.
Oh, amazing. Very nice. And same for me, like I am big into real estate, but I also like to diversify a bit into stocks and um, crypto as well a bit, just to play around and not feel left off in the long run.
Yeah.
So, Doug, what attracted you to the construction industry? I'd like to know more about how you started in, and what was your first project that you did?
Yeah, of course. So throughout my life, I worked construction on and off,
Mhm.
and it was working with different companies that I kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. That um, some of the companies I worked with, they weren't big on safety. They weren't the cleanest bunch. They were kind of like the typical rough around the edges crew, and it kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth. But it was only later in life where I circled back to it. Actually, when I bought my first house, and it turned out that it was a big problem. And we had bought it initially for the land because we had a backyard wedding and we loved the area, we loved the land, but we knew the house was suspect. And then it was only once we started to dig into the renovations that it got pretty overwhelming. And that's really where it all kind of came together for me. Um, because I love the big picture. And the thing with construction is that there's always more to learn. So you're
Yeah.
always evolving and you're always learning. So that was what was really fascinating to me is all the challenges and the solutions aren't far away. You just have to ask the right people. So that's really why I'm so passionate about it.
Okay, so was it like a fixer upper or what kind of project was it?
Oh man, like so there was so many problems with this house. Starting with the foundation. So there was hydrostatic pressure, and the block foundation wall was actually caving in. So we addressed that. We gutted everything, and then there was an attached garage, but it was more like a carport that they just closed off, and they
Mhm.
called it a garage, and it was just sitting on piers. But the whole roof line was actually heaving because of that, because those piers had moved. So we removed the whole garage, we poured a proper foundation, and yeah, from the ground up, we did every renovation in this house.
Oh wow, amazing. So straight from the foundation. So it's like a major project, and that's your first project, you say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. And did you have someone to help you on it and to guide you as well along the journey?
Yeah, of course. It was interesting because at the time, my father-in-law was starting to help me and show me things, and I had never seen this side of him, but it turned out he had built quite a few houses.
Oh,
So he was a vet in this game, so he taught me a lot, and luckily, my neighbor turned out to be a great contractor who I eventually worked for. So it was funny how it all came together. And yeah, the learning was boots on the ground, and I haven't slowed down since.
wow. So it was meant to be. And these are the kind of things that when you're looking on, you're focusing, you're determined that I want to do this, then you kind of find ways, you kind of find people even nearby, like your neighbor, that supported you and guided you along in the project. So that's amazing. And going through your portfolio, like I know you did a four-plex building in Cornwall, and we actually met there, and you helped me to the walkthrough and showed me around, and it's a phenomenal project. Like it's just amazing, even seeing the finishes, the exterior, interior, everything. It's just like a dream project to me. So how did you go about on that, building that one, and how did it shape your approach to getting into more into the construction world?
Yeah, so that first build was definitely a passion project. So it was funny how it all fell together. I grew up in Cornwall, and I lived on the street neighboring this property. So I knew the area, and when I would go visit my family, I saw that it was for sale. And funny enough, I actually closed on that property with a vendor take back. And so we did creative financing, and we bought the lot, and it was a nice big double lot. And that property, to me, obviously is very sentimental, but I want to use it as kind of like a portfolio piece. So we didn't cut back any corners. We did 10-foot ceilings, radiant slab on grade, heat. We really went nice big windows, and it really is my portfolio piece to show people what we can do. As an investment, you know, I didn't do it strategically in the sense I did it for the long term because I plan on keeping this building. So I went with hardwood floors, things that people would not do in a rental. But to me, it was just it's to attract investors in to work with us. So that was the angle there. But it definitely taught me a lot about budgeting and you know, from an investment standpoint going forward, I definitely want to find solutions that work with the budget more than the hardwood floors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know it's like a very luxurious project, and I've also learned that from many of my coaches that your first project needs to be phenomenal. It needs to be very good because you build up on that, and that's how you get more clients, more leads, more partnerships going on in your business. So hats off to you. Like the project is just fantastic, and so I'd like to go a bit deeper into like what were you expecting from that? Like, you definitely wanted to do showcase your portfolio and your work from that building, but you also estimate probably had some actual like returns estimates and like the projections. So did it go as planned? And how much did you put in the project? And did you make up the amount you put in, or you're just uh, doing it right now, like with the tenants and cash flow.
Yeah, really, this building to me, it's like break even. So it's not big profit. Um, so let's say we put in $1 million and we had maybe 200 for the land and the services. So we're definitely up on the equity side. It was appraised at like 1.4, but I feel that's a very low appraisal considering the rents it's generating. Um, but that's the thing with like knowing now what I know is I would have went 5 units and above because that would have opened so many doors, as I'm sure you're aware,
Yeah,
with MLI Select programs and CMHC. So, but for me, four was my comfort level.
yeah,
But knowing what I know now about the financing world, for sure, I would have went bigger. And just because you add more units doesn't mean the building footprint has to be any bigger. I could have just made smaller units, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, but hindsight is 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, there are huge units. I know they're like very big apartments. And I love your transparency and your attitude to learn. Like you said, you were comfortable with the 4 units going in, starting out, and then you kind of learn from there that okay, now I can do this. Now if something like this I find out in the future, then I can build like bigger, like 5+ units. And you explored a lot of financing options, so this project kind of opened a lot of doors for you to learn a lot of new things as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the name of the game. I'm always humble. Like there's a lot of know-it-alls out there, but you can't be. It's the age of information, and you just gotta take it all in and learn from your mistakes. And to me, I'm happy with how the project turned out. The tenants are happy, and that's all that matters to me.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. So you have worked on like Burr projects as well, as far as I know. So what are the key construction elements like investors should focus on to maximize the refinance value for these projects?
Of course. So. Funny enough, it's really the same things I would say that a realtor will tell you when you're selling your house. So if you're listing your house, the realtors will say focus on the kitchen, focus on the bathrooms. People spend time in those locations, and people fall in love with their eyes. So it's the lipstick renos, it's the paint, it's the trim, the small details like that. That's where people fall in love with, and it's no different with an appraiser. They're gonna see a nice new kitchen, nice new bathroom, and that holds a lot of water. I would say also, so the mechanicals do help, and for sure, like uh, a roof definitely helps, right? If you have a 20-year-old roof that's falling apart, that's going to be hurting the value
Yeah.
because that's a big capital expense item. So you might want to touch that up as well.
Yeah, yeah. Like these things, like they create the first impression. When you walk in the house, you see the kitchen, and mostly you just fall in love with that. You don't care much about like what kind of plumbing or wiring it has. Like, right? The people
Mhm.
and buyers, they don't care about the inside, what's going on. And also for the exterior, like I believe the first impression, like landscaping, just cut it smooth, like look beautiful when people drive by. It increases the appeal, and also like siding on the exterior, just do some
Mhm.
clean, like good finishes, and then it can just create great first impression even in the listing photos that you put on market to attract buyers. I think it creates a big impact.
Oh, yeah, it's everything. It and those photos just to get people in the door is the first step. So
Hmm.
obviously, yeah, a good photographer and but you're right about the siding. It's like if you even there's a one customer that they want to paint their aluminum siding, and that's a great thing to do if you have aluminum siding or a siding that you can paint, just freshen it up, do a good power wash and touch up the paint and you'll have a new house, and it'll look brand new. So
Brand new.
definitely, yeah.
Also, when the appraiser comes in, then they can see that okay, the past picture looked like this, and now it's like a new look. So I think that also creates a good impression for them to give a good heads up value for the appraisal.
Hmm.
So uh, my next question is like, in your experience, what factors should investor consider when talking with contractors and when hiring them for upcoming projects?
Yes, I believe that a lot of people I know it's all about numbers and in the investing world, but that can come back to bite you if you're just racing towards the cheapest quote. And we all know those stories, those horror stories. The main thing to me is the contract. So does does the contractor have a beautiful proposal? Is everything well established in that proposal? Do they have the actual contract, the agreement? So the renovation agreement, how does that look? Did you go through it all? How long is it? Is it a one-page agreement? Because that might be suspect. If they give you a 1 or 2 page quote with a one-page agreement, that's you're probably missing some of the boxes. You're not checking those off. So, and the thing with the contract, it's not just for the contractor, it's to protect you both. So the terms in it, it has to be a two-way street. And if you look over, I'll send you a copy of my contract, and you'll see exactly how it works in both of our favor because it is a business deal, and we both have to be protected.
Right, right. I love that. So it should be like detailed. The code should be should list all the potential material costs, labor costs, whatever what's going on, what are they buying it for, like everything from buying, delivery, labor, all the details should be there. And I agree with your point, like it's about the relation as well, right? If they get a good repo from the beginning, then there are high chances that the contractor and the investor, they will like continue working forward in future projects. So always good to be professional and love to see your point as well on the quotes. I didn't think about that much, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And that brings me to kind of a question from your end, like when you are deciding on taking on new projects with clients, like what is your ideal client? What are your key requirements? Like any absolute must or must-haves that you need to see in the project that you'd like to pursue it forward?
Yeah, exactly. Um, there's red flags when you're meeting with people on both sides, right? Of selecting a contractor, and if they're reluctant to answer questions, um, that's a big red flag, right? Because communication is very important. And from my experience, some contractors, they're just not the best communicators. They don't have the soft skills. So find someone that is personable, that has the patience to answer all your questions.
Mhm.
And when I'm looking to do business with someone, I'm looking for someone that doesn't want to cut corners. There's people that the first thing out of their mouth is no permit, this and that, and I don't want to deal with those people.
Mhm.
I don't want to deal with people that want to do the bare minimum. There's the bare minimum to a certain point,
Right.
but sometimes certain things need to be addressed for, right? You can't build a house on sand. So you have to make sure if there's something that's structural or something that's, safety, where it comes to electrical or something, I don't want to work with anyone that's looking to cut corners to save a buck.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I love that point because recently I was talking with a contractor guy, and he's a friend of mine. So he was telling me a recent story, recent experience of his. So he went to give a quote uh, to a to a homeowner actually who wanted to do their basement kitchen, and the guy gave him the quote, and he said that there are three levels, like you can do just basic work, which won't last you very long. Then you can do like medium, durable work, and then there's high end. There are three, I'll give you three categories. But for him, he said that we only work on like medium and the high end. We don't do the low level, like basic work, because it won't last long and it doesn't look good on us that it broke down or it didn't last long as much as you expected. So he gave him a code for the kitchen. I think it was around like 12,000 with everything, the material cost, all the things. And
Yeah.
the guy was very impressed. He said that, okay, the client, that thank you so much for being transparent and giving me such a detailed, like good code. And then my friend, a contractor, he followed up with him for after 1 week. The guy didn't answer, no answer. He then again followed up at the second week. He just ghosted him, no answer. And then the third week, he was like, I don't want to follow up again. I feel bad, but I'll just send him a text for like one last time that, did you think about it? And he sent him a text and he was like, oh, I was so busy in my work and I have so much things going on and I completely forgot about you. Yeah, let's connect. I'll give you a call. Then they connected, and the client, he's telling him that I really want to work with you, but my budget is 8,000, and I found someone that is doing it for me for 8,000. So if you can match that price, then I'll work with you. And he was my friend, he was just blown off, like he was so angry. He was like, why are you wasting my time? I already told you that it's just basic work. If you want to do it with someone that's just low quality, then just
Mm.
go with them, right? We don't do like cheap work.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of people that they are just comparing, getting multiple quotes and going on with just the cheapest one available, and then wasting a lot of time as well for you guys and also the contractors, right? So
Yeah. That's that's
yeah,
what's so funny. You can give people that there's three options. You can have good, you can have fast, and you can have cheap. Okay, and you can only pick two out of the three. So what
yeah.
do you want? because that's how it goes. That you can't have quality, speed, and it be cheap.
Yeah, and never compromise on quality. And also speed is important, like for us investors that they want to get the project to the timeline. But yeah, I like that. I like that analogy. That there are three triangles, and you have to compromise on one, right?
Yeah.
Was there any opportunity like this you also encountered that you passed on projects for from potential clients?
All the time. So the main thing for me now, as we're getting busier, is really to filter out the tire kickers in a preliminary phone call. We can get um, a lot of data out of that phone call, and just a good sense of the person. If you just ask someone what their budget is and
Mm,
they're reluctant to even say a number, usually that's someone that's either not even ready to do it or they really think that they can get it done. It's very common that people think it's the they think that the price of the project is like the price of the materials. Like their
mm,
budgets are so far apart, and you're not even accounting for anything other than materials. So
yeah,
it's for a lot of people, I think the education piece is big.
mm,
To sit down with them and talk to them just on the phone and explain like the price per square foot and how that works and
yeah,
um, just talking generalities of how much a basement bathroom costs
mm.
to have installed and just go over that just some ranges.
Right, right. Yeah, like people they hear like, oh, my friend Bob, he got it done for this price, and now he it looks good to me. Like, why are you asking this much costly price? And then you have to sit down with them and explain them this is the material cost, and it goes up and down with time as well, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes you have to educate the clients, and it's also their mindset that if they're willing to learn and they're willing to understand. If they are not willing to, then no matter what, how much you say, they won't understand. And I think time will teach them that okay, what you are saying, it actually made sense.
Yes, and another red flag, the last one is people that want to piecework everything, that they have a cousin that does electrical and they have a brother that's a roofer. And the thing is, when they're trying to bring in, especially the skilled trades like a plumber, I've been down that road working with people that they say are reputable, and the project is just sideways because you let one person in on a job that had no business of it, and you're trying to appease them and do them that favor. So we have a network of professionals, and we stick to this network because we know the results, and my name's on it. So if people want to start, incorporating their own trades, how does that look now for the warranty? Because who's providing the warranty on the project now? Now
Mm,
that they were involved, right? So there's a lot of red flags. So
yeah.
it's important to mitigate it just by yeah, just using our team.
Yeah, and these things can also cause delay, right? In the timelines. You sometimes you have to wait on interdependent tasks, and if they are doing something, then you cannot do the next thing unless that thing is done. And if it's getting delayed, it's just wasting your time as well, your employees' time, your workman's, and you can't take another project because you made commitment to this project, and it kind of frustrating. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, it's like Harshit, it's like taking a hockey team that's been playing together for the whole season and then subbing out a player or two and expecting them to do well. There's no bonding there. There's no experience working together. So you don't know how these people operate. So it's just not functional.
yeah. So how talking about contractors and employees you have, like you said, you have good employees and experts in all kind of fields. So how do you approach hiring these kind of skilled employees, skilled trades, and ensuring that they provide quality results?
Yeah, so luckily, a lot of the contacts that I have are either previous employers or, in my case, even people I grew up with. through school. So what's really interesting is if I can't do a task or a project, I know about 4 to 5 other people that I can comfortably refer a customer to have that done. And that network is growing as I meet people and we mesh, and I see that they take it very seriously and they're very professional. I reel them in, and then I'm not shy to refer them. So for me, it's just having a tight knit community of the pros, and just sharing work amongst each other and trusting that we're going to get the job done on time.
Love it, love it. So you took the time and effort to build the network and the team you have, and now you're confident that you can rely on them and they can deliver good results.
Mhm.
Amazing. Um, I'd like to talk a bit about your productivity, and I know you're big on family, you're a big family man, and like to know like how do you balance like work, your personal life? I see you network a lot. We meet at a lot of events, and you're always learning, always telling me something new, learning. I'm always learning something new from you. So how do you balance these tasks and are there any like special routines you follow or any habits you have to help you stay organized and efficient?
Yeah, so there's a quote that says, "Love what you do, and you'll never work a day in your life." And I live by that. It's it took me a while bouncing different careers to really come full circle and realize that construction was the all-encompassing thing that I enjoyed. Yeah, it's simply just loving what I do, and there's no other secret sauce. I just use my phone, my calendar, Gmail, nothing fancy, and that's basically it.
Okay, love that, love that. So just keeping it simple and you're focused, you're determined on your goals, and you're living your best day every day.
Mhm.
Awesome. So, talking about your business and scaling it, like I know you focus a lot on personalized services and providing like high quality renovations and stuff. So, how does that differ from larger contractors? Um, that is like renovation companies that do like multiple projects at once, and they have like higher overhead cost, multiple project managers, larger teams. But how does it differ from working with you versus working with them?
Yeah, so really, I'm looking to do like the opposite of the big, large companies. The bigger companies, they have more staff, and they're working on the business, not in the business. So me, I'm literally in the business, and I love it because I love to be boots on the ground. So when you work with us, your point of contact is me, who's the owner. So I like to deal directly with the customer. And by me limiting myself instead of hiring all this staff, by me doing fewer projects, it really allows me to give my undivided attention to the project. And I think we've lost a bit of that in the big speed of the hustle and bustle. The old school builders, the really old school guys that were in the trenches doing the work themselves, they
Yeah.
at the end of the job, they would put a plaque on the house, and for years and years, everyone would look at that house and say, "Yeah, I want to buy that house because this it was built by this guy." And that I love that old school mentality of boots on the ground, and that's I really feel that that's the only way these days to get the best quality is to have eyes on the project the entire time from the start to the finish.
Okay, love that. So you kind of build your repo and your relationship with people. And I know tech is a very good name. I follow it on social media, and you teach a lot of like good handy stuff as well. Like people can do like DIY stuff, and you share your experience. So you also believe you're big on adding value to people, and I love that about you. So this is kind of related to our next section, that is the investor toolbox. And I'd like to ask you to give us like three tips or tools or any books, resources that you recommend for someone looking to learn more about renovations or doing it DIY stuff. Already mentioned tech, so you cannot mention that. Uh, but other than that, you can share anything.
Yeah, of course. So the nice thing is that YouTube is such a great resource. And for myself, it was huge because we're in the age of information, we all learn differently. And I'm such a visual learner, and I think most people are. Um, and and just having theory is nothing without the visual. So I'm big on YouTube. I've written down quite a few channels. If you're looking to learn about framing and carpentry, I would say there's a carpenter, and his channel is Matt Bangs Wood, and he's an American carpenter, and he's absolutely amazing. And he does like these point of view videos where he's on the tools and he takes you along when he's on the roof. It's really impressive. So I would say check them out. For home renovations, there's the Essential Craftsman. So that's a gentleman that goes in all different types of properties, older heritage homes and 70s bungalows or houses built in the 50s, and he teaches you how to build and renovate those properties. Also, a local guy from Ottawa, his channel is Renovision, and he's got some great stuff on renovations. Um, there's all like a huge list like RR Buildings. They build pole barns in the States. That's a really cool method to erect these nice big buildings in a really efficient manner. There's Winnie Designs, Matt Reisinger, This Old House. I mean, the list goes on, and I'm sure you would know some of your own. So those are a few. So I would say, yeah, just be super curious and then start going down the rabbit hole and researching for the answers that you need because it's all out there these days. Um, Now, if I had to say a book, it's The Private Money Guide by Chris Noggle. And honestly, this book is a gem. It opens your mind to all the ways you can get capital for your next deal. So I think this, for real estate investors, is an absolute gem.
Oh, wow. So that's the number one book to read because you need capital to close deals.
Exactly. And you got to look in unusual places sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, love that. Thanks so much for the reference. I'll have to check it out as well. So this brings us our episode to a very special section, my favorite section. It's the myth or fact. So here we will address common myths in real estate, investing, and some uncommon facts or beliefs that people might have. So, Doug, I'll give you a statement, and you can use your own judgment and can let us know that if you think it's a myth or a fact. Okay, are
Okay.
you? So the statement is that luxury finishes they always increase a home's resale value.
I would say like luxury finishes, as in what? Like just high, like
High
granite
end.
countertops.
Yeah, like high end, like good finishes, like
I'd say that's a fact.
okay. Why do you think that?
Because that's really what one of the key determining factors of the value of a house is, yeah, the finishes. But it could go either way. It could go either way because you can have a new house with builder grade, but if you have another new house with a higher end finishes, it depends. They might not be that far off on the selling price. It depends on the market too.
Yeah. Yeah, and, of course it depends like on a lot of factors, right? If how for how much you buy the property for, how much you put in, and then you go for like luxury finishes, and it might not add up good like if you bought it at a very high price. But like
Mhm.
normally, for a property like a decent price, and then you do like luxury finishes, like you did in your Cornwall project. So. Um, yeah, so I think it would increase the resale value because it attracts a lot of home buyers. So we have a last question, and it's more personalized about you and your approach. So I'd like to know your opinion, like what is the future of construction for the Ottawa region, and any trends you are seeing, upcoming trends with so much going on in the market right now, or any good tips that you like that investors should watch out in the future.
Yeah, I think as cities always are growing, and there's a push for the housing crisis. I think that there's good opportunity outside of the city as well. There's opportunities to take some of these rural lots, and you can still add multiple dwellings on a well. So there's the as long as you're under the 10,000 liters a day um, for the septic. So there's options there with adding multiple dwellings on a rural lot. I think that's really fascinating. Other things that people are looking for are, the family compound, where you can have, multi-generational living on one property. Um, so there's a lot. It's really fascinating. There's something new every day that catches my eye. Um, but yeah, I would say for investors, just be open-minded
Mm.
to things outside the city, because guess what? In a couple years, the next small town is going to boom. So you can be ahead of that curve too in that way.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, the cities are expanding. There's a big housing crisis. So the government is also promoting to build more and more homes day by day. And it's gonna grow, right? More and more people are coming in and they need a place to live. So I love that. And I also believe in that to focus less on the primary market only and also focus on the secondary and tertiary markets around the bigger cities, and it could open a big door for you, like a lot of opportunities could expand. It could be the next big thing for sure. So thank you for sharing that. I love that. And thank you for being on the podcast, sharing your experience. And for our guests who would love to be connected with you and learn more about you, how can they reach out to you and connect with you?
Yeah, of course. So we're primarily on Instagram. So we post a lot of things on Instagram. You can visit our website, totalequityconstruction.com. You can reach out via email, Doug at Total Equity Construction. And yeah, if you need help in Ottawa and you need a contractor who has integrity and is looking out for your best interest, we'd love to work with you.
Amazing. I'll drop down the links as well in the description section, and I'll also drop the links for the YouTube channels that you mentioned. And I think you visit them quite often because there were a lot of them you said, and you didn't even think about the names. You just knew them right away. So they must be really, really valuable.
Oh yeah, and it's all out there. That's the thing.
Yeah, you just need to look and then you'll find it. It's all out there. And this generation, technology, a lot of free things out there. So there's always something to learn and reach out. And if you focus on something, it will find a way to reach out to you as well. So on that note, I'd like to end the shoot and today's episode. And once again, thank you so much, Doug, for being part of the show and sharing so much golden nuggets for our listeners.
Well, thank you for having me, Archie. It was a pleasure.